Hello everyone, it's Animation4. Welcome back to the making of Influx Remastered. So, this first episode is going to be a little different. For a few reasons. The first reason being, it's the first episode. The first episode's always kind of weird. And it's not a regular wool in any sense. The second reason, I can't start working on it as much as I want to yet. I really can't do any physical command blocks yet. And I'm going to show you why right here. So if you don't know this map, a major part of it is using what you don't see against you. So you start off in this room, pretty straightforward. This is the spawn room. When you load in the map, you're here, you got your hint book, and you see this sign over there. Right, so you walk towards the sign saying, oh, I'm going to read that. Nothing else is going to happen. I'm just going to go up and I'm going to read it. It's going to be pretty straightforward, right? That's not right. Because when you turn around, nothing changed because it's broken. When you turn around, all of a sudden, whoa, you're over here now, and everything's different. I use the fact that you weren't looking that way to determine that you should be now over here. Which has a cool effect. I think it's one of the biggest thing I was trying to go for and use a lot is this idea of you don't quite know where you are at any given time. You kind of do everything relative. So you're like, oh, I'm in the first intersection right now. I got that. Then you leave the first intersection. All of a sudden, you have no idea where you are or how to get back. That's the kind of thing I was going for. And it really uses this idea of changing what you don't see. And you're going to see that a lot in the first wool coming up. What you don't see changing. So the problem with that is that requires me to know what it is you're looking at. For this one in particular, I only want to teleport you if you're facing this direction and close enough to this wall. So like, I originally had it, so it's like a 3x3 around here, and you could be looking pretty wide. I didn't want you to see the ceiling because the ceiling changed color, but you could be looking pretty much in this whole area, and you'd be fine. If you're looking this way, obviously you could tell something was going on. So that requires tracking two numbers. If you look at, can you see my mouse? You can't. Right. These two numbers right here. So it says I'm facing north towards -C. These are my facing directions. You can see the first one is left and right. So you see it's going between -180 and 180. And the second one is up and down, so 90 to -90. And that means the negative's up. So I look at those numbers and I determine if they're valid. Also, hooray for repeater timers always working. They're everywhere in this map, and it's great that they always work. We don't need them anymore. So you can see this command right here has a TP at A, x equals 1, y equals 101, z is -7, dx is 2, y is 3. Lots of numbers, right? The key ones, though, are these right here. RxM, Rx, RYM, and RY. This is rotation x minimum and rotation x, rotation y minimum, and rotation y. So as long as you're around this position with a x rotation of -15 to 15 and a y rotation of 175 to 185. So -15 to 15 would be relatively straightforward, so not much further than like this up and down. And 175 to 185 is here, there. Pretty much straight that way. Now, there's been changes, big changes, especially to this selection system. It is entirely different. There's the big changes. So if I try to say x equals, where am I right now? If I say at A, x equals -10, dx equals 20. This would work before, because I'm in a range of 10 to 20. Now there's an error, because that doesn't work anymore. Actually, I think maybe there might be an error because of space. Oh wow, it actually worked. That's weird. I did not expect that to work. Rotation is different, though. Rotation no longer uses the RxM or Rx. I actually just guessed that wouldn't work. But rotation is the big one that doesn't work anymore. So watch it work. Watch me be entirely wrong about this and just have it work now. So that's how it would happen. So I'm going to say, that's how I'm also testing these. just say at a rxm equals minus 15, rx equals 15. Yes, rxm is an unknown option. Because they changed it, it is now called x rotation, and there is no minimum or maximum. So this is why I thought the x and dx wouldn't work. There's no longer minimum or maximum. You now set a range. So I would say x rotation is somewhere between minus 15, 2 dots, and 15. You can see it's not working because I'm actually not in the range, but that's fine. So that's what it does now. It uses this thing called x rotation. Obviously, I could do minus 15 and above. I could do at most 15. So less than 15. I'm less than 15. And that's how it's supposed to work. It doesn't. And this is why. I set this up right here to show you. If I face straight this way, I'm basically at 0, 0. I'm close enough. If I look this way, both of them are less than 0. If I look that way, both of them are greater than 0. Look this way, x is less than 0, y is greater than 0. Is that right? I think so. Y is the first one. It might be back. No, that's right. No. It might have been backwards, but regardless, this is still going to prove my point. Everything I'm saying is wrong, but my point is still valid. So I'm going to do a say at a x rotation is 0 or more. Oh, 0 or more. So I'm going to look at this one where x is less than 0. It says many. There's your point proven. Look at this one where x is greater than 0. It still says it. This one, x is less than 0. Now y is confusion. Why is that working? Okay. Now I'm more confused. So if somehow my x rotation was greater than 90. Neither of those numbers are greater than 90 to me. But if I change this to y rotation, guess what? It does the exact same thing. So there's a bug in the game where x and y rotation are identical. So I can tell, I forget which one it is. I think I can tell which way you're looking up and down. I can't tell which way you're looking left and right. So if I do x rotation equals minus 15 to 15, and y rotation is minus 15 to 15. Oh, you can't have spaces anymore. That bothers me. So I'm not looking there. If I'm looking straight this way, I am. If I look like over here, though, I also am. You can see the first value is definitely not between minus 15 and 15. So I can no longer check which way you're looking this way. Up and down does work, so it can't see me now. That's been the big problem. It doesn't mean I can't necessarily work on the map, but it has been pushing me to not try. But I'm going to still try to get things done this episode. I know I just rambled on for 9 minutes now. We're going to try to get things done. So, let me tell you some plans I have. The first one is there is a deep underlying problem with teleportation. This does a teleport of left 10 and then forward 1 for some reason. I'm going to remove the forward 1 and I just poked a hole in the roof. So I'm going to teleport my... Actually, is there... No, I do need to go back 1 because I spaced these wrong apparently. So I'm going to teleport myself left 10 and that way 1. See that? You see that my hand, like it's very hard to notice unless you're looking for it. It's real easy to notice if you're standing still. But watch again. Watch just watch everything. There's a little flinch. It's pretty hard to tell sometimes, but other times it can be incredibly obvious to the point where the game's actually throwing you over there, and you can see frames of being here, frames of being here, frames of being here, just in really fast. So a lot of times when I designed things that had to teleport you based on your rotation to fool what's behind you, I always did it while you're moving to make it really, really hard to see. Can I give you an example of that? Yes, I can. So over here is the light blue wool. It's probably the wool I remember the least. But there is this hallway. You get to the end of the parkour section, and you get to this hallway. This hallway is actually theoretically never ending. I can make it never ending, but it's not technically. So you run down this hallway, and while you are rounding this corner, actually, no, while you're rounding this corner, like sometime around here, while you're changing angles and running at the same time, I teleport you way back here. What that does is the fact that you're moving and turning, you don't realize the fact that you kind of jumped a little bit. Just a tiny little hop. So you think that you're still going, and you don't realize it. You don't realize that stuff actually changed. Usually worked. There's like a 90% success rate with doing that kind of strategy. When you don't have the movement involved, there's usually like a 20% success rate of you not realizing, maybe 20 to 40. And that's like with these intersections. When you walk up against this wall, it teleports you somewhere else, but you're not moving fast, so you kind of usually see that you're teleported. So I'd like to get rid of those as much as possible. How I'm going to do that is the following. Instead of teleporting you, I am simply going to replace the blocks around you. So instead of there being 2 copies of this room, I'm just going to, destroy the back half of this room and turn it into whatever's going on over here, and change what's going on over here a little bit to look better. So there's no possible way you could see a teleport because there was none. I think that'll be a lot smoother. I'm going to try to do that where I can, but some cases it's going to be just too hard, like especially the monuments. I'm not copying out the entire monument every time you change walls, because that would be everything's in one tight space and there's no room for me to do anything. So the first step here is, I guess, to take this and copy it over to here. I haven't touched MC Edit in forever. Does MC Edit still work? Probably gonna try to do it with MC Edit, and we will go from there, trying to clone things around. Also, this drop right here does the same thing. You're falling into lava, then all of a sudden you're coming out the bottom. No idea what I'm gonna do about that. I don't know what that's gonna entail. Actually, I think for that one I changed your angle. I don't know. I'm gonna clone this. Alright, happy Monday. So I just got home to a snapshot, and there have been a few snapshots since I recorded the previous little clip there. And, they've been nothing interesting, so I've just continued on with whatever I was doing, because I still can't get past the first stage. But then, today, we got this new snapshot. Here it is. Minecraft snapshot 17W15A. We got some cool changes. So this first one right here, added a new local coordinate type in commands using a caret. So before, you could actually still be able to see me. Before you could do things like this to use relative, like where I'm standing but 2 blocks above it. And that would be fine for in commands. What I think this might do is if I say like x, instead of saying like x equals 15, I can now say like x equals caret. Y equals caret 2, stuff like that, and that would be 2 blocks above me if you're using it in the tags. I think that's what it means. I will try it out later, figure it out. But then I scroll down a little bit and look right here. MC bug 121.863, X rotation seems to behave like Y rotation. And I actually did look at the bug tracker. This is the one that it all narrowed down to, the fact that they're just flat out the same. So we're gonna do, let me get that off. I'm gonna do a test now. I'm gonna look at they're both positive one and see if this works. Fingers crossed here. Y rotation is 0.90. Good, that's correct. This is the one that would normally say it. And it doesn't! Yes! Okay. They fixed the bug. So before it would say it in two places, it would say it both here and here, meaning that my rotation this way was never tracked. It didn't make any effect on whether or not the statement executed properly or not. So we now have successful rotation detection, which is really neat. So now I want to figure out, this was actually the first thing I was going to do, is like start up the world, ready to go. First thing I had to figure out, I think it's X rotation is the first one, whatever the first one is. There's a point when it jumps from about 179.9 to minus 180. You see it goes from really positive to really negative. If I want to detect over that range, can I ignore that? Can I go from 170 to 190 and it will figure that out? That's something I want to test here. So we're going to say at a x, no caps, equals 170 to 190. Min cannot be bigger than max at position 18. Position equals. All right, so what about minus 190 to 1? If this doesn't work, it's not a huge deal. It just means I have to jump through a few hoops to get around it. Okay, it does not think I'm between those. Minus 190 to minus 170. Min cannot be bigger than max. All right, so that doesn't look like it's working. Unless it's Y rotation I need, which maybe it is. So 170, 190, what if it's for Y rotation? No. Okay, so I have to do a detection from something to 180, and then from minus 180 on. That's fun. But doable. I can make something that works now, which is good. The other news I have is in the latest snapshots, MCEdit doesn't work. So not a big deal. We have clone commands at this point. MCEdit's a much more visual way of doing it, though. I can say all these commands, just scoot them over there so I can move stuff. It's fine. Not a huge deal. I'm gonna have to get used to doing it because a lot of this was built with MCEdit because it was just so visual. But it's not a huge deal. But we have stuff, and I'm gonna do some quick tests with the carrot. See if I can get that to work at all. You know, I should read more. So this is where it is right here. It's specifying local coordinates command. You can now use the caret to specify local coordinates instead of world coordinates. Detect is left, up, forward. Where left, up, forward is the amount of blocks in a specified direction. For example, this is the block right in front of a player's face. Caret. Oh, that's actually amazing. Oh my god, that's so cool. That's really. So it can kind of look at what block you're looking at, almost. All right, so let's see what this is. So let's try a set block using caret coordinates. No left, no up, but 3 blocks forward. Zone. How does set block work? Oh yeah, it's after, so it should be. All right, so it's a little lower than you'd expect, but it is flat out what block you're looking at. Let me actually set that to a 1, so it would be. It is up. Dang, does that not work? Oh, that's it. All right. So this command will actually set whatever block you're looking at to stone. It can also then detect what block you're looking at, which saves me like so much work you don't even know. Holy cow. Instead of being like, oh, is your face facing, are you at this position facing this direction? I can flat out say, are you looking at this block? That's amazing. Okay. I'm gonna do some more playing around with this. Oh, I'm sorry. You probably didn't see any of that, but wherever I'm looking, there's a dog, but wherever I'm looking becomes stone. In general. Not perfect, but as long as I'm not doing steep up and down angles. That is really, really cool. I forgot, test for is no longer a thing. So now I have to do an execute if. Let's execute if this exists. Run say hi. Something like that. Execute if entity, right? Almost. This is why I wanted to do this now, because big changes to how commands work. I didn't want to get through all this and have all of a sudden my thing only work for one version. Yo, it's working. Alright. Here's what we gotta do. It'd be nice if they could make structure commands so you can spawn structures. I don't think that's a thing, but they could do that. That would be... Okay, I'm actually looking it up now, seeing what they changed. There's a stop sound command. That's pretty cool. No, there's no way. But that's fine. All you do is take a comparator. You run it. Put comparators on it. Yeah, this will work. Redstone. This will load. See if this works. Let's see if my amazing technology will work here. So, we got this room. We're here. Our position isn't going to change. Let's see if something interesting happens. Almost. I actually guess I messed up the structure. But in general, that's how it's going to work. You saw there was no transition period at all. It was silky smooth. Hi, did you? Oh, this is still there. Because that's still active. Because it successfully said found. Alright. That's why I wanted to put this here instead. Fine. Yeah, that's silky smooth. You wouldn't have known it happened unless you... If you didn't see the word spam, you wouldn't have known that was happening. That's, in general, how it's going to work. And to keep track of everything, since this building right here isn't going to exist anymore, although for some reason the chest doesn't want to spawn in. I'll have to take a look at why that is. Is there a sign there? There's a sign there. Is that supposed to be the chest? What? It's a broken snapshot, but there you go. Here's the hint book. It actually is there. In case something does go wrong, I have all the structures. I know that this totally isn't necessary, but it makes me feel good inside that I could still see everything. 800, 39, 800. The way out at 800, 800. I have all this. I have a big platform here for spawning structures. As I make more structures, they will go in this area, so I can see them. And if I ever want to make changes to how the structure works, I can make those changes here and just save it in without having to find the name and all the ones that use it, or find the ones that use it, find the name there, spawn it somewhere, and then make the changes like that. I can just do it out here, and it'll be fine. So you see this one, alt spawn, like I said, has this wall missing, which is not good. But on a simple scale, I wouldn't actually do this. I would use commands to do this. I could fix the wall, and it's actually not the wall. It's the fact that the structure isn't large enough. It wasn't large enough to capture the wall when it was first there, which is another thing entirely. But I'd fill in the wall. I'd come over to the structure down here, switch it to save, and switch this over to make the size bigger to be 9. Make sure it looks good. Yeah, it's now capturing that part of the wall. I can actually, what is it? Bookshelves? I think there's bookshelves here. Something like this. Something like that. And then I just save. Alright, so I've been busy. Learning, trying things, figuring out the best with everything. Cat, please. What's this cat? I've been learning, trying things, figuring out the best way everything should work. Some stuff I've learned, some stuff I don't like, some stuff I do like. Let's start chatting about it. So this is the cat. What do you want? I fed you. This is all the command blocks that get this beginning bit to function. If you noticed before I had comparators, I don't have comparators anymore for a specific reason. And I'll get to that. So it is 3 purple command blocks here. So these are all kind of bunched up, but it's 3 separate sequences are going on. It's all related to that scoreboard I have over there, current stage. So the way the whole map's going to work is you have the wool that you're on. That way it doesn't have to be... It should be based on position, but that's really hard. I'm going to know which wool you're on at any given time. It's going to be based on your stage on the wool. And those are both going to help figure out what should be going on. It's also going to figure out what hints it should give you if you request a hint, because that was always a big problem before, because the hint book was kind of added later. So I had to have detectors. So you walk down this hallway, you're now in the next part, so the hint book should know that. The hint book, oh, this is all the hint book stuff right here, by the way. Based off the stage in the wool. And I have the wool being displayed in the tab menu, which is 0. So these are all things that manipulate the world around you while constantly manipulating and checking your scoreboard. Let's have this first one here. This first one's simple. This is a safety check, essentially. What it says, I'm actually going to click out so we can look at it in here. Dang. Something. Give me some clear lines so I can see what's going on. If you look here, execute at P. This is really annoying. I'll actually show you the command that it bothers me for. So before, if you said TP at P relative 1 up, it would make that person go up a block. Simple enough. Now it does it relative to the executor, which is the command block. So to have a command block tell you to move relative to where you are, I have to execute at P run TP. A little bit longer. But it says, at the nearest person, run this command. So run it from that point. The command block is still technically the executor. So it goes to the nearest person in this range, which is the spawn zone. That's what this range is. And if the block below that point is stone, run the command set stage to 0. So if you notice right now, my current stage is 2, which is a problem because this starting thing won't execute if my current stage is 2. So if I get in here without a stage of 0, I'm in trouble. Luckily, if you're over here, your stage is 0. That's all that does. If I'm in this area standing on stone, so it won't happen during the next phase when this is no longer stone, my stage is 0. And now that it's 0, we can see what happens next. You walk towards this wall, silky smooth, no teleporting required. Everything's totally changed around you. Oh, that's what I was seeing before hitbox. Okay. So that's the next part here. What does this? So this kind of annoys me too. There's no simple test for it. You have to have an execute, a check, and then something else to do, which is annoying. That's kind of, I kind of doing weird stuff with that, but it works out fine. Some stuff's kind of probably unnecessary, but I'll figure it out as I go along. So I have to execute, which is, in this case, execute if entity. And here is the giant detector for where you are. You're in this position. You have an X rotation of -15 to 20 and a Y rotation of 165 or more, because you can't wrap around. And this new score thing, instead of score underscore stage equals 0, you now have scores and brackets, and you put all the scores there, which is kind of nice if you have a bunch of things you're checking for. If you don't have a bunch of things you're checking for, it's kind of annoying. So I'm like, I might as well toss in wool there, because it's not that much more. So if your stage is 0, your wool is 0, you're in that range, you're looking that direction. Then, if there is also an entity facing this direction, which is, I really should have this whole thing copied, but I can at the very least say, scores, wool is 0, stage is 0, just to make sure it doesn't get some random sheep off in the distance looking that direction. The sheep will never have the scoreboard. Run, set your stage to 1. Simple. Increments your stage. If that happens, set a block relative to this, get to redstone blocks. That's right here. So before I had repeaters, I had comparators outputting from these blocks. Turns out, I forgot, chain command blocks operate faster than redstone ticks. They operate twice per redstone tick. So by the time the comparator is like, oh, it's time to turn on, it's already time to turn off because this only executes for one tick. Game tick, not a redstone tick. So it's too fast. The comparator didn't output. If it did output, it was because I was telling a command block to say something and that output stayed on and would never turn off. That's a problem. So instead, I set it to a redstone block to right here, which sets it back to air, but that is long enough for a redstone tick to pulse this structure block. It'd be really, Dinner Bone, it'd be really, really nice if we had a structure command, just so we don't have to do this, because it's kind of a pain. Just saying, if you want to help your brother out. It loads the structure in to that area. I have the bounding box on this one. The bounding box is also really nice. It loads the structure in, and these are all pointed to make sure it's there. The alt spawn. Third thing, which I actually haven't shown off yet, so let's show that off. So my stage is 1. I can't look at this; it won't do anything anymore because my stage is now 1. So you have this lava pit. The next part of this is you jump into the lava pit. You fall down. Notice my stage is now 2 because I've advanced. So what does that is a little bit trickier, because if you notice, this is also back to normal. Because I was always afraid, since I'm doing this copying like this, I'm going to put someone back here, and it's not going to be this way anymore. So I change it back as soon as I can. So what this does, you have the regular detection command. If you jumped into the pool and you are on stage 1, because the pool should only be there for stage 1, then you get stage 2. If you just got stage 2, set the redstone block to over here, which will change the structure. Then, if that happens, which it should never fail because that should be air, teleport you to a little bit down. So this is a teleport. The reason this is a teleport is because it's a change in gravity. It's supposed to seem like a change in gravity. It works kind of okay. It'd be better if I wasn't telling you to go straight down, because most people won't look straight down. Probably look at like maybe 82 be a good angle you'd look at if you were jumping into a lava pool like about that far. 60, wow, 68, dang. Go with like 60, 65. If you're jumping into a pool of lava, what angle would you normally look at? So it flips you, so you're looking at the lava and falling away from it. You can't really do that with the clone because you're changing gravity to be falling away from the lava, so I can't really fake that one super well. So I'm just leaving that how it is. And you fall down, and you then have a stage of 2. So that is this whole thing right here. Clean. No glitchy movement. Updated to the latest commands. There's only 6 command blocks. Technically 8 if you count the 2 airs. Much nicer. The other thing I want to do is, most people didn't notice this, but when you get into this room, let me advance the story to the point where that happens. There's this whole black wall back there, and across that black wall, this sign that says Influx is supposed to go across. Problem was, that was really slow, because back in the day, cloning things took a really long time. I would clone this entire thing over 1 block, then I'd clone it over again, then I'd clone it over again, like 10 redstone sticks apart, because it was just that slow. I can make it go faster now, so you can actually maybe see it. I could even just use titles. Probably end up doing, because that's, I don't know. I really don't, actually haven't thought about what I'm going to do for this. I could use titles, but I want you to look at the fact that everything around you has changed. Notice it. Be aware of it for like a second. Be like, wait, what? Then the title shows up. Just when you're at that wait, what moment. You wait too long, they kind of start to reorient themselves. If it's too early, you spoil the surprise. Just as soon as that moment of confusion happens, that's when I want the title to show up. This is the creative process right here. So you turn around. You're like, everything in those cases. Oh, that's pretty neat. Wait, what? And then title. Which is why I like the title in the back, because it took a little while to show up. You had to be looking at it. It's just, I really don't know. If you have any suggestions, please let me know what I should do about the title. Sorry this video took so long. I'm ending it here because I I like to ramble. I really like to ramble because I have a lot to say about this because I saw that the snapshot was released and it had all these changes. I got so excited because the potential to do all these amazing things now. So this is the end of the video. If you have any comments, anything you think could improve the map at this point, this slight beginning, please let me know. And I will stop rambling now. I hope you're excited for us to actually begin some work on this, because this is when stuff's actually going to change. I have some plans for this first sequence here. The first sequence, I'm going to tell you everything that happens when it does, because it's not super surprising. It's a pretty straightforward sequence. The stuff coming up has some puzzles in it. The beginning isn't puzzles, so I'm not going to spoil the puzzles. I'm going to spoil the beginning non-puzzle sequence, because it's not a puzzle. It's a sequence. That'll be next episode, because there's some stuff I want to add. Ramble. That's it. Any comments? Let me know. Hope you're excited. Sorry this took so long, because the update took a while to come out. And I was like, I really don't want to push this with nothing done. I want to have something tangible to show you. But here is something tangible. It works. It works really, really well. It's so smooth. Nothing about it is clunky like before. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.